Hey everybody, Old Man Van here. You're wondering where I've been. I posted an introduction video a number of weeks ago saying that, hey, I was launching my new running channel, Old Man Van Running, and that I was going to be posting videos to help people learn how to get back into running or start running for the first time. And guess what? Haven't posted anything yet. There's a good reason for that. I had to get myself set up. I have a GoPro. It's on a little tripod over here. What I didn't have is I didn't have a lighting setup. I didn't have a better microphone than what's on the camera. And I didn't have a little screen up top to make sure that my lovely mug is in the frame. Well, now I'm set up. Next thing I got to do is I'm trying to learn the editing software so I can snip and splice and make sure that I'm able to put valuable content on YouTube and on my channel. We're going to start with all you new runners out there, or you folks that are thinking about getting started. There's some basics that I'm going to cover today about running shoes. That's going to be the subject of this first video. Okay, you're just starting out and you're wondering, what kind of shoe should I get? I'm going to just be clear with you. You get what you pay for, first of all. So if you're thinking of going to Walmart or Kmart and buying a bargain basement $20 pair of running shoes, forget it. Because what you're going to do is you're going to buy a pair of shoes that really looks good in the box and on the shelf. When you put it on your feet and you start running in it, quickly you're going to have injuries, your feet are going to hurt, you're going to get all sorts of problems with that. They're just not going to hold up. They're just not going to provide you the support you need to stay injury-free and to really enjoy your running. So put that out of your mind. So the first thing to do is go to a reputable running store, not a big box store, because let me tell you, those salespeople, they really don't know a lot about running, okay? They're going to try to sell you whatever they can sell you. Most good running stores, however, are going to have knowledgeable salespeople that can really talk to you about what you're looking to do with your running. Are you just starting out? Are you experienced? Are you looking for a racing shoe, a daily trainer, a lightweight trainer, a trail shoe? That's what's important. So you want to go to a reputable running store. That being said, doesn't mean that going in there totally lacking any knowledge about what you're looking for, you still could end up with a pair of shoes that really isn't right for you. So that's why I'm giving you some of these tips. So if you're a new runner, first thing to think about is I need a supportive daily trainer so I can get out there, start walking and jogging, into jogging, and into more sustained running. Okay, what are the most important factors that you should be looking for when you're buying your first pair of running shoes, or any pair of running shoes for that matter? Well, first, they need to fit well, okay? That's number one. Number two, they need to have the right amount of support for your foot type, for your gait type. Three, they need to have the right amount of cushioning. And then lastly, they need to be durable. Those are the four key things that I feel are most important when you're looking for a pair of new running shoes. So, what is a daily trainer? Here we go. This is my daily trainer. Doesn't mean it has to be yours. This is the Brooks Adrenaline GTS 21. Okay, it's a stability model because I pronate a little bit, and all pronating is your ankle starts to roll. When you hit the ground, your ankle rolls in. I do so more on my left foot than my right foot. I can wear a neutral shoe, which means there's not a lot of support. It's not forcing your foot when it hits to stay aligned. A stability shoe, when you hit and your ankle starts to go in, it kind of pushes you back. But what's really good about these shoes is they're tough. They're not the lightest in the world, but they've got a lot of cushioning, not too squishy, just the right amount of cushioning. So when you're hitting on your heel, it's not jarring up through your body and creating problems. The other thing is they've got a very durable outsole. So there's a lot more rubber on the outsole of a good training shoe than you would see on a racing shoe. On a racing shoe, the key is weight. It's not key to get 500 miles out of a pair of racing shoes. In fact, some of these $250 to $300 racing shoes only get about 100 miles in them. You know, that's a lot of money for 100 miles. And man, you better be an elite racer or a real dedicated racer for that. A little hint though, I do have a $250 pair of racing shoes. Ah! Okay, Daily Trainer, that's what you got here. Again, go into the store. They're going to take a look to see if you need some stability or you can fit in a neutral shoe. Okay, you're going to get to the running store. Try to find a running store that can do a gait analysis for you. Why is that important? Now, it's not the end-all be-all, okay? Or is the be-all end-all. Gait analysis, basically, they'll take a scan of your feet. They'll have you stand barefoot on these pads. It'll take a scan of your feet, and it'll show whether you have a low arch, so like flat feet, or if you pronate, or if you have a higher arch and are neutral, or if you tend to be supinating, which is on the outside of your foot. That's a good place to start. If you have a very low arch, they're going to have you try on some shoes or recommend some shoes for you to try on that have a little bit more arch and probably with some stability features. That's a good place to start. It's also going to help you learn about your biomechanics and how you are. Another thing that they might do is put you on a treadmill and take a video of you running on that treadmill. Are you running and coming down heel first? Or are you coming down midfoot first? Or are you coming down toe first? Like that. That's a good place to start. Go into a good running store that has those options to assess your specific needs. Okay, you've gone to the running store. They've done a gait analysis, done a scan of your feet, so now they know what type of shoes they want to recommend for you. They're going to go grab a bunch of models, probably from a bunch of different brands. They're going to bring them out, and you're going to try them on. First thing is, don't go in the morning. Why is that? Well, in the morning, your feet haven't swelled up. You haven't been walking on your feet during the course of the day. So your feet are going to be at smallest that they're going to be during the day, okay? Lowest volume. So I recommend that you go after work or later in the day when your feet have had a chance to swell up to their largest size. And why is that important? When you go out running, your feet are going to swell. And the last thing you want is to buy a pair of shoes in the morning that, yeah, it's comfortable, a little snug, but it's comfortable. And then you go out running and it becomes excruciatingly tight. And you start getting blisters and foot pain and things like that. Recommendation to you is wait till later in the day, go in wearing the type of socks that you're going to wear running. Get some socks that are running specific. Maybe even in the running store, have them, recommend some running socks for you so that you're wearing the type of socks that you'll use in those running shoes when you're trying those running shoes on. What are you looking for? You don't want them too loose. You don't want your feet swimming around, right? You want a snug fit, but not a tight fit. You want it snug, almost fitting like a glove around your heel and your midfoot. Not too tight, not too loose, because you don't want your foot moving around. You don't want your heel coming up out of the shoe. Why? Because A, it's going to be uncomfortable, you're going to get blisters, and you're not going to have the support you need. Your foot's going to be sliding backwards and forwards in that shoe. In the forefoot, you want enough room for your toes to splay. You don't want them constricted like this. You want them to be able to splay naturally when you come down and you run. Come down and you run. Splay. So they need to have enough room in the toe box to splay your toes without being so big in the front that you're just swimming and your foot's sliding around in the shoe. They usually say about a thumb's width between the front of the shoe, usually your big toe or your longest toe, difference between the very front of the shoe and your longest toe is a good measuring stick. But that's on the length size, okay? On the width size is my little toe. I can see it kind of like poking against the side of the shoe. That's a recipe for disaster for me. So if that's what happens when I try it on, I know right away that it's going to be a little bit too tight in the forefoot. and I need to try on another brand or go with a wider version. Now you've got a shoe that seems to fit comfortably, is walk around in them, okay? Put them on, tie them up. They might help you if you're not really sure how you want to lace it. Walk around the store. A lot of stores will let you take it out on the sidewalk, and you can kind of run down the sidewalk and get a little bit of a feel for it. Many of us have one foot that's bigger than the other foot. So if you have two shoes on, one feels real good, the other feels a little tight. What you should always be doing is finding a pair of shoes that fits your largest foot the best. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is if the largest foot shoe is too tight, doesn't matter on your other foot. You're going to start having problems with blisters again and foot problems. Always go with the shoe that fits your largest foot the best. So you found the shoe that fits the best. You know, you've walked around in it, really good. You've got a gait analysis or a foot scan. They've recommended the type of shoe that probably will fit you best. Now you look at the price and go, wow, it's $120. You know, that's a lot of money. Well, what's good about going to a reputable running store or even ordering running shoes once you're familiar with the brand and you want to just order another one is great return policies on good running shoes, and especially from reputable running stores. Most running stores will give you a 60 to 90 day trial period to run in the shoes. I mean, that's great. You can take the shoes home. You can run for 60 days, do whatever you want in them, running. And if they don't fit you or you don't really like them or you start developing problems, most of the time you can return them, no questions asked, for a full refund or for store credit. It's a really great, great thing. And the reason they do that is they want you as a customer, okay? If you buy a pair of running shoes from them and you go out and you have a bad experience and you can't resolve that bad experience, you're going to stop running. You're not going back. They've lost a customer. So I highly recommend you don't sit there and go, well, I can't spend the $120. Listen, if it's a good running shoe and it fits you well, spend that $120. I know it's tough, but bring them home, run in them. Run in them, and if they don't work for you, return them. Don't feel bad about it. I've gone to a running store and bought 3 pairs of shoes and returned 3 pairs of shoes because they just didn't fit me right. And you know what? Never had a problem. Same running store. And I bought many, many other running shoes from that same running store. So that's my recommendation for you. And that will ensure that you get a pair of running shoes that will work for you and that will result in you having an injury-free experience, getting out there and running for the first time or getting back into running. And that will ensure that you will want to keep running. Okay, last thing. When you go into a running store, you're going to see all types of running shoes up on the wall. You're going to see daily trainers. You're going to see lighter shoes. You're going to see some real fancy shoes. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Resist the urge to buy a pair of shoes that's not right for what you're trying to do. Okay? When you're starting out, stick with a daily trainer. That's my recommendation, only because that's going to give you the most protection and allow you and your body to adapt to running. Once you get experience, once you get out there and you're like, well, you know, I want to try a 5K, I want a 10K, I want a lighter pair of shoes. After you've built up some miles in your legs and adapted, that's when you can start looking for maybe a lighter trainer to do your faster runs in. And hey, if you get into racing and you really get into it, there's a lot of great options for racing shoes out there. That's all I got for today. What's the last thing? It's always going to be the last thing you're going to hear from me. And the most important thing, lace up your shoes and let's get out on the roads. Talk to you soon.